Good morning, dear students. My name is Radjabova Giyosiddinovna. I'm a senior lecturer of the Third English Faculty, Department of Methodology of Teaching English. Our subject is lexicography, and today's lecture is lecture number 9. We're going to speak about lexicography glossary, author's lexicography, bilingual, thesaurus. Today's topic, the lecture outline is as following. Basic division of lexicography. We are going to speak about the branches of lexicography. Then differences between terminology and glossary and problems of glossarization. There are two basic divisions in lexicography. First one is lexicographic practice, and it refers to dictionary making process. It is practical as it is from the term itself, yes, and mostly it refers to commercial book publishing. Big book publishers like Macmillan, Longman, they refer to this, they are connected and associated with lexicographic practice. The second division is lexicographic theory. And here it refers to dictionary research. As you know, each subject, it has its theory. Without theoretical foundation, subject is not possible. And lexicographic theory deals with the process of studying, the process of compiling dictionaries. And this one is very important, as you know from previous lectures, yes? We spoke about the four basic periods of English lexicography, and last one, it was scientific. And during this scientific period, last one, after the Samuel Johnson's first standardized dictionaries, the process of lexicographic theory started. As you see from this graph, yes, lexicography, there are two basic subdivisions: lexicography research, dictionary making process, theory and practice, yes. Research deals with history of lexicography, the development, evolution of process of making dictionaries, typology, different types of dictionaries, criticism. As you know, everything, like every science, yes, should be criticized and investigated to get on point. The practice is connected with field work. As you know, Samuel Johnson, when he started, last lectures I explained that Samuel Johnson, when he started, he has his own so-called laboratory where 6 workers, 6 writers worked together with him, and it was like field work. Yes, describing the most important, some terms, and giving explanation to these terms. It is also process of compiling dictionaries. And presentation, giving the presentation of the words, glosses in presenting form. So as I mentioned previously in previous lectures, yes, there are some branches of lexicography which we already covered previous lectures, but today we are going to just recap them again. Yes, historical lexicography. We spoke the evolution of lexicography. As you know, first it was glossarization, yes, then prescription, then standardization and scientific research. Yes, historical lexicography is a branch of lexicography which focuses on history of dictionary making process, yes, including the development of dictionary formats, methodologies, and evolution of language itself. As you know, language is a living organism, and that's why there should be some evolution and the process which brings to some changes. And descriptive lexicography. As you know, descriptive, it refers to synchronic approaches, studying modern condition, modern state of language. Yes, and descriptive lexicography involves creation and analysis of dictionaries that aim to describe the vocabulary of current state of the language, specific dialects in detail, and without prescribing its rules or norms. Prescriptive lexicography, on the other side, to descriptive lexicography, yes, in contrast to descriptive, prescriptive lexicography involves the creation of dictionaries that prescribes rules. if in descriptive we don't touch upon the rules and some regulations or norms, in contrast, prescriptive deals with describing rules and norms for language usage. Yes, and often grammatical rules and some notes are included in such types of dictionaries. Next one is comparative lexicography. Here, this branch compares the vocabularies of different languages, dialects, for example, highlighting similarities and differences and influences, yes, some connections between them, links between them. As you know, for example, yes, you have the subject of typology and the types of languages they are compared, and the same focus of comparative lexicography also. Bilingual and multilingual lexicography, as you know, bilingual and multilingual lexicography deals with the creation of dictionaries that facilitate translation between two or more languages. Specialized lexicography, as you know, are the dictionaries which have the specific focus, like phraseological, dictionary of phraseological units, slang, dictionary of slang, for example, yes, or dictionary of different terms, medical terms, law terms, etc. So, and computational lexicography, it is a modern branch of lexicography because it involves the usage of computer technology and linguistic algorithms. One of the example of this computational lexicography is corpus-based lexicography, where corpora is used in creation these different types of dictionaries or compiling different types of dictionaries. As you see, next branch is author lexicography. And this branch of lexicography denotes complex of activities which are concerned with the design, compilation, and use and evaluation of authors' dictionaries. As you see, Shakespeare's glossary. Why this dictionary was created? Because it is, as you know, a lot of terms, phrases, collocations which were firstly created by Shakespeare himself. And that's why there was a demand, a requirement, a need to create this special author's lexicography of Shakespeare's terms and expressions. The same as an example, as you see on the picture here, the Boburnomas, yes, phraseological units dictionaries, because it is, again, there was a need and research of Boburnoma, and after that there was a created author's lexicography dictionary, which refers to some terms and expressions and phraseological units which were created by Bobur himself. So, authors often create their own dictionaries, as I mentioned before, because there is a need to explain, to state the point of their own. Yes, and novelists might create, for example, personal dictionary to keep track of character, traits, and invented words, unique of their fictional world. Then scientists might compile special dictionary of scientific terminology on their own research. It is also very important to convey, to deliver their own knowledge, and to maintain consistency and accuracy in their writing. So, and examples of, as I mentioned before, examples of authors' dictionaries, they can be, so for Shakespeare's Lexicon and Quotation Dictionary as one example, yes, which was originally edited and published in 1902. The Emily Dickinson Lexicon, also, which was first published in 2007, yes, and complete work of Lord Byron's dictionary, yes, his works and his phrases which he used in his own novels and works. So we also, one more branch of lexicography is a biographical lexicography, which defines complex of activities concerned with the design, compilation, and use of evaluation of biographical dictionaries. Some examples, as you see, Merriam-Webster's Biographical Dictionary, Biographical Dictionary of the Youngs, yes, Biographical Dictionary of scientists, yes, some scientists, and they create their own dictionary which reflect the process of their biography and different some terms, words which refer to these authors and their life. Next point of our lecture is terminology. This is very challenging, very problematic issue of lexicography. Why? Because terms, in most cases, they are considered to be monosemantic, but indeed most of terms are polysemantic. Word, for example, yes, as a term, yes, we use word in our everyday life, but in lexicology, for example, yes, it is the unit of lexicology and it is term of this field of science. Linguistic also, it is also term in this scientific field, and that's why terminology, it is an off-sided explanation. It refers to the study of a field of activity which concerned with the collection, description, processing, and presentation of terms, lexical items, yes, belonging to specialized areas of usage in one or more languages. And here, Sager, yes, he suggested that in its objectives, terminology is akin to lexicography, which combines the double aim of collecting information about lexicon of language with providing information and sometimes even with advisory service to language users. What does it mean? So here, terms are served for language users, and dictionaries are intermediaries or instruments to describe these terms, and it is very important. One more term in lexicography is gloss. Gloss was used to denote, in the past, it was used to denote the brief explanation contained within or outside a manuscript or manuscripts, and intended to explain the meaning of lexical items or sense in which this lexical item is used in particular text. So, and glossaries nowadays, yes, instead of terminography, yes, most scientists use the term glossary, yes, because they consider that many experts in this field draw the demarcation, and they consider that there is a line between lexicography and these linguistic dictionaries and terminography. And that's why they nowadays started to use the term glossary instead of terms or terminography. So glossary is most often used in reference to a kind of lexicographic product. So that usually contains a short word list providing minimal lexicographic data in its entries. Nowadays, for example, many textbooks and reading books, yes, particularly for non-native speakers, they contain the list of glossaries, yes, or in short, they are called also lemmata. It is also synonym for this glossary, and canonical form, dictionary form or citation form to set of word forms. So in English, for example, break, breaks, broke, broken, breaking are forms of the same lexeme or lemma, which breaks as a lemma and by which they are indexed, and it is called like lexeme or lemma. So there are some problems in terminology, as I mentioned before, because the process of creation terms and giving them description or explanation, it is very challenging, as most of them are polysemantic in nature. And to illustrate the challenges, we consider three main categories. Yes, issues of ambiguity, problems of terminology excessiveness, yes, and challenge of new concepts. The issue of equivocation or ambiguity arises when terms has multiple technical meanings with the same subject area. For example, terms such gloss, lemma, headword, entry, lexeme, multi-word lexical unit, also require terminological clearance because in most cases they are ambiguous because they are synonymous but they have some peculiarities, each of them. Yes, and that's why it's very difficult to give the clear explanation or definition to all of them. They are interchangeable, but they are not similar or identical. As an example, let's take from the Webster's Third International Dictionary. Let's look at these examples. Yes, meaning of a word. Yes, the term word. We know word. It is used in our everyday life, but as you know, in lexicology and lexicography, they are basic units of these two subject fields. That's why definition of a word found in Webster's Third International Dictionary may be closest to capturing this specific sense. For example, entry number 1, word, a linguistic form that is a smallest free form. Yes, it is not like free form. But in this context, for example, variations like sing, sang, sung, and singing are considered like different distinct words. Am I right? According to this definition. That's why word form as an unambiguous term for this concept would the meaning of entry 1 not be clear if it is rephrased. Yes, for example, there is a rephrased second entry. Yes, entry 2 word is a complete range of linguistic forms generated by combining a single base, yes, with different inflectional elements. In this entry, for example, in this interpretation, yes, sing, sang, sung, and singing are all variations of a single word. And that's what it is very important to make the terminology giving description and definition to each terms in very clear, unambiguous way. For example, if a key factor of selecting terms for a concept is avoiding equivocation, yes, it is very important to avoid the ambiguity. Yes, it becomes apparent that certain terms commonly used by lexicographers for this fundamental concept may need to be reconsidered due to their ambiguity. Specifically, terms like entry, guide word, main entry, yes, have been identified by Robinson as potentially equivocal, and they are also used to refer to other concepts within lexicography. Yes, even after removing these ambiguous terms, there remain 5 precise and technical synonyms for this concept. So let's reflect on what we have already covered during this lecture. Yes, nowadays developing specialized language or techno-lect, yes, for lexicography should involve a multi-dimensional strategy that avoids standardization and relies on voluntarily cooperation, yes, and tapping into lexicographers' natural inclination towards professionalization. This strategy, for example, could encompass various levels or dimensions, including promoting scholarly works on terminological issues, featuring a terminology column in a reputable professional newsletter, releasing successive editions of a dictionary of lexicographic terms, and introducing a conceptual glossary for lexicographers in a confidential draft format. This process is continuous, and every time, as you see, many dictionaries, they have several editions. Why? Because lexicographers always reflect the process, try to find ambiguous word, try to find the definitions which are given in an unclear, ambiguous way, and reflect on this, making some changes in this, giving exact definition. And as you see, dictionaries, many dictionaries, they differ in their semantic structure of words in their entries. They give different definitions. They are very close, but some of them are exact, more exact. Some of them are ambiguous, not so exact. And this process is ongoing and everlasting. So if you have any questions, you are welcome. Okay, thank you for your attention.